Hello everyone and welcome to Phyrexia All Will Be One traditional draft. Alright, I think the best common in the pack is the Volt Charge. I wouldn't mind first picking it. Yeah, it is the best common. The uncommons are not that great here. I mean, they could be in a specific deck, but they are not that great cards to start with because they really require some help from the other cards in the deck. But there is of course the venerated Rot Priest, which definitely isn't as good in limited as it is in constructed. But still, I think it's more interested to maybe play with this card than with the Volt Charge, which is just a regular common, which I'm gonna play many times with. And you can pick a bunch of pump spells to really get good use out of this ability. So let's just let's take it. Okay, another Necro Squeeder here. Oh, there's a Hex Gold Slash. That is the best common, and I think it's also... Well, no, okay, they are good commons, yeah. I mean, the Flensing Raptor is really good, and maybe even pickable after taking the Rot Priest first pick. Yeah, I think the Slash is better because it's more versatile, but this is really good if you try to have some kind of a toxic deck. There's also the Injector, which is not a pick here, but it's also, I think, pretty good when you're already having toxic stuff. So yeah, the question is whether I should take the Raptor or the Hex Gold Slash. Do I want to go all in with the toxic stuff or just take the flexible removal? These uncommons are not as good as either of these things, so it's actually a tough one. I kind of want to take the Raptor, but I also fear that white is quite overdrafted. Although red is very strong color too. I already passed one Slash. Sorry, not the Slash, but it was the 3-mana removal spell. So I'm gonna just take the white card. And, well, if I took the red card there, I would just be very happy about taking the very efficient beater here, the Furnace Punisher, and I could even, ignore the green because, well, I mean, I could, if I had a red removal spell and this thing, I would be able to, still move to any kind of an archetype. But I didn't take that, so I don't think I'm going to take the Punisher right now. I could take just the Charge of the Mites, or I can take the Basilisk even, if I really want to go green-white. Green-white, toxic deck. This is like another super amazing one. It can be good in some decks, but it's not a bomb rare, not even close to that. I think this is the better blue card. But yeah, let's take the Charge of the Might. It doubles as creatures and removal, gives me toxic stuff, so that's pretty good. Okay, well, man, there is a Necrogen, a Rat Priest, which is really good. Sadly, though, I have 2 white cards, only 1 green card. And white seems to be open. There's still the Sanyu Dancer, which is not as good as the Planar Disruption. Now, the Rat Priest is the better card than the Disruption for sure. But if I'm taking this, I know this can be splashed, but I feel like maybe I just should take the Disruption because I'm not gonna splash this if neither green or black will be open. I'm not really sure. It seems like they might not be open, although I have a green-black card in here though. I still take the Disruption. I have 2 white cards. Let's take this decent removal spell. And yeah, it is a little difficult now to assess what I'm supposed to be drafting here. I guess I can just take the Atrocity here. Yeah, this is a fairly weak pack. I like this red pump spell because it can give you a 2-for-1. There's this crap trap, but I just didn't pick the black card, the black green card. I'm gonna take the Atrocity and let's try to see if this could still be a green white deck. Well, okay, I think the red also dried up. There's only the Rebuke here. There are some, blue cards, but I don't really have. I'm not really in a position to start picking blue cards right now. So now the question is, Dune Mover, Thirsting Roots, or even the Prosthetic Injector. I don't have a plan to splash. If I took the black-green card earlier, I mean, I could take the Dune Mover here. This is still a toxic 2-drop, but I think I like the Injector. Let's try it. I think it can be quite nice. Okay, well, I still get a good white removal spell. I just should take the Disruption here and move on. Not much else to think about there. Oh, and I get even a 2-drop toxic creature from green. And there's still a nice red card here too, so... And there's a Sanyu Dancer, which I would play in this kind of a deck. But yeah, of course the Stalker will be the pick here. I need some early drops, of course. Because the green-white deck, it has to be quite aggressive. Thirsting Roots... There's the proliferate option, but I don't really want to use a card to proliferate, so I'm just gonna take the expanse to make my mana better. And I could take the long legs, or I could take the head cleaver just in case I end up with black. And because this toxic to evasive creature is quite nice when you are trying to poison your opponent or at least make them corrupted. But I suppose I'll just take the long legs. It's also a good sideboard card. This is a best of 3 draft after all. So I might not play it in the main deck, but against other aggression, I might sideboard it in. And I got the Ecospit Basilisk here too, so I think this was the only playable green card in the pack, and I still got it at pick number 11. So I suppose green was open, but not a lot of green was, opened in this pack. Alright, so here I can take one of these sideboard cards, 6 mana removal on a creature or 3 mana removal on things that... Yeah, well, I suppose this doesn't kill flyers for 3, but I'm gonna take the Vanish. But I'm gonna put it in the sideboard. I don't like main decking that card, and neither of these is particularly good for this deck. So let's just take random 2/4, which I'm not gonna play anyway. I wouldn't be playing the equipment either. I already have a prosthetic injector, which is of course much better. And there's a fairly playable card actually as the last pick. Well, I didn't take black there, so I'm not gonna pick this one. This is quite nice, for sure. But yeah, let's see what else this pack is gonna offer me. There is an Incisor Glider, which doesn't have, of course, toxic itself, unless I, equip it with this thing. But it's very good when the opponent is corrupted. There's also a Ripskiff, and I think in a green-white deck, the Noxious Assault can be quite playable, because usually you are having a lot of small creatures and maybe a couple of charge of the Might, so you can have a lot of creatures. So the Noxious Assault is a card I would be willing to play. I also like the Mantle in this kind of deck. Ripskiff, don't know. Let's take the Glider. I think the Glider is the best one. It's also defensive 2-drop. It's a 1/3 that flies you, so it's also offensive, but it's quite actually decent stat. Well, I mean, the fact it's a 2 mana 1/3 flyer, you don't need a lot to make the card playable after that, and the corrupted ability is definitely huge payoff. Alright, so there is a 2-drop which doesn't have toxic. There's another injector. Would I be willing to play 2 of them? Because this does, of course, add up to any kind of toxic one extra ability means that the creature deals 1 more poison counter. Yeah, I guess I still prefer my 2-drops to actually have toxic, so I'm gonna take the injector. Let's try if this can be a good idea to actually play 2 of those things. Now this pack is, wow, this has a lot of good cards I want to take. Honorable mention into the Fair Basilica, which I would be playing, but there's the Predation, the Vorak, the 2-drop toxic thing, and a couple of very nice tricks. So this is actually 5 cards I would be happy to take. The creature count is at 7 out of 12 right now. This doesn't have toxic, but it's just very good, and you can proliferate with this thing too. Oh, man. I think I need a 2-drop, but I'm not sure I like... Well, I mean, it's so important to have a 2-drop that has toxic, especially in these kind of decks, that I'm gonna just take the 3-1, but, if you wanted to take some of the other 4 cards I mentioned there, I wouldn't, say that it's a mistake. Now here I'm just gonna take the Flensing Raptor, now that I have picked some 2-drop toxic guys. I suppose it's only 2 at this point, and plus the 1-drop. Anyway, I'm gonna take the Raptor. There's another Ruthless Predation here, which I'm still passing, but I suppose I do have a couple of Planetary Disruptions, so I have a removal already. And here. Okay, well, If I knew I'm gonna get this, maybe I would have taken something else in the pack that had 5 good options for me. This is quite slow, but also, you know, comes with a lot of value, especially if you get to proliferate. But it's not this is not the kind of deck that wants to play this card. I want to sometimes try this in some other kind of deck, though, slower deck. But yeah, now it's easy Stalker, and well, there's one of my favorite cards in the set, Silvok Battle Chair, but I'm not taking that here. There's a Mir Convert. It has Toxic and it can accelerate me. I don't necessarily need accelerating, but it's still good to, have, for example, 2/2 mana plays on turn 3 with the help of this Mir Convert. So let's just take it. And there is a Tainted Observer, but sadly not for my colors, and not really a splashable card either. I would play 2 Terramorphic Expanses, so let's take another one of those. And Sinew Dancer versus a Thirsting Roots. I think I have enough ways to now, actually, to corrupt the opponent, that this can be quite cheap tapper often, so I'm gonna just take this guy. And then there's the Fair Basilica, which is... I will have a third Ender Stabbed land, but I don't mind. I can play 17 lands if I have a couple of these card drawers. Alright, let's take the Basilica. And only white card. I don't still plan to main deck it though. Another Fair Basilica, sure. It seems like I didn't get back anything from the pack that had 5 good cards for my deck. I think it already went, or maybe I'm wrong. I also didn't take many pump spells with this thing. I guess I didn't prioritize. I had some options for them, but I did not prioritize them. There's still pack 3. Off color. Alright, the Juggernaut is just bad. Now there is a very good 2-drop. Now it doesn't have Toxic, of course, but it is a very good 2-drop. I don't have to play the long legs in the main deck. Resistance Reunited. I would rather take the cantripping white to, +2/+2 effect. It cantrips when you target a creature with Toxic. There's another Planar Disruption here. How many creatures that is now? 12 out of 17. There's a Basilisk. It's mostly about if I'm supposed to take the Ambassador here, even though I really try to poison the opponent. I mean, it is really good, but I could just take the Disruption. It's not a bad idea. Yeah, let's take the Disruption here. It's a very efficient removal spell. Okay, more mana fixing that might even enter untapped, but I don't really need it with double expanse. And there's a Flensing Raptor and the Vorak, but in this deck I do take the Raptor over the Vorak. But I would of course pick these if there wasn't really any premium pick available. Because what's nicer than having a starting hand which has all your deck's colors or mana producers in it. These kind of lands really help a lot. Alright, let's take the Raptor. It's definitely a strong pick. And I can... there is a Dune Mover, but I actually do have enough 2 mana plays now. Maybe I could have more, but I don't have any at 4 mana. And Plague Nurse can be quite nice with the flying Toxic guys. You can make them deal actually 2 poison damage, so... And this also is a bit bigger creature, so if I need to be blocking, that 4 mana 3/4 does a nice job of blocking the opposing 2 and 3 drops. So let's have it here. And okay, Porcelain Zealot, that is really good. Now, this pack also has a Crawling Chorus. It does have the Sinew Dancer, but I think I would take the Chorus over it. And there's a Charge of the Mites, number 2, which I would be happy to have too. By the way, I didn't get the 5 mana Overrun card, so this is a little bit less of a priority now, but the actually best card in the pack is the Porcelain Zealot. Especially because I have so many creatures with Toxic that the +2/+2 happens a lot, and I have only 1 4-drop here and 1 5-drop, so my mana curve can easily, just allow me to have this. And even if I had more 4-drops, I would just cut something and make room for this thing. Wow. Now I see my first duelist of Deep Fate, which I was really waiting for, another very excellent 2-drop, but there's also an Infectious Bite, which gives them a poison counter. I have some 3 power creatures, but most of my creatures are quite small. That's 15 creatures though. I think the Bite is still the pick, but man, maybe it should be the Fate thing. I have a triple Raptor, I just really want to have it too. Okay, I'm gonna take the Deep Fate thing, but that removal is so good. It's not a fight spell, it's a bite spell. And I do have creatures with enough power to make it good, but I just really think it's so great to curve out with a 2-mana toxic creature and then playing the Flensing Raptor on turn 3, and I have 3 of these guys. So that's what I did. And here, nothing matters really. And here, okay, Vital Spawning. It's time to take an Axel. No, not a 2-drop. There's a Stalker again, but definitely the Vital Spawning can serve as a double play in this deck. I mean, I can get the flashback rather easily. I wouldn't mind another Atrocity, but this is just a better card. Let's take it. And okay, I cut in all the Stalkers here. I'm gonna play the one Incisor Glider, but I think I just take another Stalker here. I can easily cut the Copper Longlegs now. How about the Basilisk or the Thirsting Roots? I don't need the land fetching ability, so this is basically just 1 mana proliferate. I could play this in place of a 17th land, but I don't even know if I'm gonna play 17 lands in the deck. I have a fairly low curve. Let's take the Toxic thing. Here I suppose I'll just take an uncommon here. Not gonna play any of that. Not gonna play any of these. None of these is an uncommon even, so it doesn't actually matter what to pick here. Another Sinew Dancer, which I might play. An uncommon. Alright. Yeah, I think it's going to be... I mean, I do have... Yeah, I was saying that it's going to be a 16 land deck, because I have only 2 4-mana cards, 1 5-mana card. All the rest of these cards can be played for cheaper, and I also have a mana-producing card here. But I do have 2 of the Fair Basilicas. So I guess I could play 17. But I still think it's gonna be 16, especially with double expanse. That means I can still have like 9 mana base. Because 2 of the lands will be the expanses, and then I will have 7 plus 7, forests and plains. Well, 5 plains and 2 basilicas, but anyway, 7 sources for green and white, and then 2 that count as both, so that's 9. Which means I'm gonna cut 2 cards. And sadly, actually, I don't think I had many packs where I had option to pick a pump spell, but I really can't benefit from this ability at all, unless, I mean, I guess I could, if the opponent is at, enough poison counters, I can, while this is on the battlefield, I can put a or target my own creature with a planar disruption, because this doesn't say an opponent controls, so I guess I can keep poison to the opponent with the Rot Priest. But then again, the opponent doesn't know that I have no pump spells, so they are maybe eager to remove this. Plus it's still a toxic 1-drop, which is very nice when you are especially on the play. I can make it fly with the Raptor and all that. And if they use, while this is on the battlefield and they use a removal spell on any of my creature, they still get a poison counter, so this is still gonna be good. Now what are the cards? This is now 19 creatures. Well, the first card is the Copper Longlegs. I just don't need it. I have 7 2-drops here, and all but one of them has corrupted. How many actually, sorry, toxic. So let's actually do this thing. Type, come on, creature, and is it like Oracle toxic? Does that mean? Yeah, that means that Oracle, that basically their text box has, toxic. So that means that out of my creatures, and this is of course a toxic creature, it just hasn't type creature, so that's why it's here, but that actually means I have only 3 creatures in the deck that don't have toxic, and I have a couple of these injectors still. So I am really heavy on the toxic. Oh, by the way, this is, yeah, this doesn't have toxic, but of course it mentions toxic, so that's why it's filtered here. So let's say 4 of my creatures don't have the toxic ability. So I should be able to poison the opponent quite easily. Now there is a bit of a problem because I do lack the, pump spells that I might not be able to push through, but at least what I can do is I can have 3 flyers that make it easier to push through, and I have 2 tappers, and I have the triple disruption. I also have a couple of these +0/+2 things, which doesn't really help pushing through a high toughness blocker, but at least I can prevent my creatures from trading that easily with the opposing, small guys. Yeah, so I still have to cut one card. I'm not going to play just a 15 lands. Now I could see cutting one of the injectors, but I guess with 18 creatures, and it's actually 19 because this doesn't count there. I haven't, so 19 out of these 25 cards give me a creature. Actually, let's say 20 because I can even use the charge of the mites to get me a couple of creatures. So I shouldn't be having the issue that I have an equipment lying around with nothing to equip with. I mean, no, nothing to equip with the equipment. So what's my worst creature here now? Or any spell here? Because I guess the issue kind of is that all of these are quite good. Even the Icarspit Basilisk, that's also quite nice against, some higher toughness creatures, because I can put an injector on it, and it's a 1/5 toxic death touch, so it kills anything it battles with. And 5 toughness means that it's, well, I guess they can double block it, because when this has only 1 power, the opponent really doesn't get punished by double blocking it, but still. Yeah, I think it might be the injector still. I like the glider, gives me some nice mass pump there. But then again, the injector is quite nice with something like the Stalker. But then again, a 3/3 is fairly easy to trade with once the early game is over. Okay, fine. I will cut one of the injectors. I think it's just, two, the other cards are even more important than the injector. So let's do it like this. Couple of expansions, couple of basilicas here. And then I will only have have 7 forests and 5 plains. That is very decent mana too for a 16 land deck. How about the color balance? Quite even here. Okay, so I think my previous deck was a black-green poison deck. This is now green-white poison deck. Let's see how well it's gonna do. Okay, let's see if I can curve out, and I can even have the one-off injector here. So I can play the convert on turn 2 and for the Plague Nurse to be available on turn 3. Or I can just play the Deep Faith thing on turn 2, because I will be playing this on turn 1, which means that on turn 2 on turn 3 I can equip this to make it into a 2/4, and then still play the Mirror Convert. But getting the Plague Nurse on turn 3 on the play, it has 4 toughness, unless the opponent has like one of the cheap removal options. A Hexgold Slash or the White Pacifism. It will be really hard for them to block this, especially because I can make it into a 3/6. I think I'm gonna go with the convert plan. No. Am I? That actually changes things quite a bit. Yeah, I'm actually gonna change my plan. Now I could have still done the convert and make it fly, but I'd rather have this around. Because I'm gonna play on the next turn the Raptor regardless. I guess if I don't draw the 4th land for the Plague Nurse. But this is so much better at attacking than the 2/1. Okay, what's this? They have... Can't... So this does nothing, it then, be a big blocker. Okay, well, let's fly now. So what I can do in the next turn, I can just play the convert and equip the Raptor to keep dealing 2 poison per turn. So this actually, permanent cards in graveyards can't enter the battlefield, alright. Players can't cast non-creature spell. Yeah, this is a constructed sideboard card. And now they have a reach guy. Opponent, that is just unfair. They have the perfecties here. Okay, the Porcelain Zealot at least helps me. So there's no actually point attacking. I guess I could, because I don't really lose by attacking. Let's see if they're actually gonna take some. The O4 is gonna block the ground guy regardless. Well, I mean, I can't just do this because there's nothing preventing me from doing this. They are just gonna block both of them, but I'm gonna put some manual stops there to at least, you know, suggest that I would have something. But of course the opponent would be foolish to take any more poison here. So the Zealot means that I can, you know, make this guy deal 4 in the air, so the long legs won't be blocking it anymore. Well, it can block, but not survive. I could also just draw a land and then I have the Atrocity here, because currently they can't block it profitably, but let's of course first see what they do. They do have 4 mana up here. Okay, so basically they could double block the Atrocity now, which I wouldn't mind happening actually. If I draw a land, an untapped land, I do have 3 lands that do enter tapped. Well, the Terramorphic Expanse of course doesn't enter tapped, but the land it fetches will enter. Okay, they have a kill spell here. It seems like they're having the fight spell. Okay, Drown Indicator, well that's a really good one. And okay, no 5th mana, so I can just play the Zealot. But it's of course very good here, because I'll paint 2 life here, no big deal. And this will attack as a 4 power first striker. Now they actually have to take a poison and 4 damage, or jump block. They can attack back for a 3 damage and a 2 poison. And they are black-green, so they can easily have, you know, corrupted cards. But of course I'm not going to block with the Zealot here. That would be just total madness. I have some options for the next turn. Even if I don't draw land, I can play this or this and equip. Or of course, if it's not a land, I can play that spell. But it could also could be one of my tapped lands. So even if I draw a tapped land, I still have options. Lattice Blade Mantis. Okay, well that doesn't have Toxic. Are they willing to attack with the Stalker? If they are not, that means they are not going to have anything with Toxic. I mean corrupted. Yeah, okay, they are gonna put me to 2 poison now, and that this of course allows them to have the 3rd. Now this could be a 6/6. So that's one option. Because of course it will get a nice pump from the Zealot. And it will deal 3 poison. So they have options to jump block with the long legs. Yeah, double blocking doesn't kill it. Now that means I will take a bunch of damage. Although I can actually just block with my own Duelist of the Deep Faith. I will lose for 2 life if I play the 5-drop now though. Yeah, I don't actually think it's that necessary to... I mean, I'm actually gonna do just like this. I don't need the Atrocity, because it's not even guaranteed that it will deal the poison, because they have the long legs. I'd rather do it like this and just play the... Probably just play the Death Toucher so I can block this stuff here. Now they are corrupted, which doesn't matter too much. Now I could move around the equipment by paying 2 life. I don't think I care about that though. I could maybe even block the Stalker with the Mirror Convert, because it's a bit risky, because I don't have the 5th mana. But then again, if I just keep drawing spells, that's not a bad place to be in. This is my only 5-drop in the deck, and I think these were the only 2 4-drops, so I mean I also have 4 mana here, but I don't think I have anything else than the Zealot and the Plague Nurse. I'm pretty sure that only 3 cards cost more than 4 mana in this deck. So I literally have to draw either a land or a spell I can cast with the lands I already have, even if the Mirror Convert dies. Because I feel like if they do attack with the Stalker, I'm gonna block with the Mirror Convert. And of course I'm gonna block the Mantis with the Basilisk. Okay, I am not quite taking life loss yet, but once they block and proliferate, then I will start taking life loss. But yeah, Basilisk is gonna block the Mantis, of course. They are not attacking with the Stalker, so I don't have to worry about... No, they are not attacking with that. Okay, well, they didn't attack with this. But there's the 5th land, so now the Mir Convert can just, you know, get away. So, what is... I'm pretty sure they are gonna use the long legs this turn, just to block and sack to proliferate. I don't really want to attack with the atrocity into the 4-3 here. I think I might just do the Plague Nurse thing here. Yeah, let's do this. I could attack with the Icarus Speed Basilisk, but then they just block with the Stalker. That makes no sense. I should have moved the Prosthetic Injector in that case, if that's what I wanted to do. But now I will just play the Plague Nurse and move the Injector. Oh, they actually chose not to block with the long legs. I'm curious. Well, it doesn't change my plans. I'm gonna play this, and who is going to get the Injector? Someone else is gonna take it. Could be the Death Toucher. Could be the Plague Nurse. Let's give it to the Death Toucher. No, it's still gonna be. This is gonna be 5 power. No. Let's give it to the Plague Nurse. The Duelist doesn't need it. Okay then. So I'm definitely ahead here. But they had some nice defensive plays. Even the 0-4, no, at least gave them some time. But in the end, this of course just ended up, you know, jump blocking. So that was a +1 card for me. They have a Plague Nurse as well. No, that's totally kind of fine here. Because with the Zealot, I mean, without the Zealot, I actually wouldn't be able to do anything here. So I do hope they don't have a kill spell on it. But they have 2 Drown in Icarus in the deck. That is very nice. So now what I have to do is I must start attacking with the, you know, the Basilisk. Because I can make the Basilisk into 1-5 so that the Stalker can't kill it. I'm willing to trade the Basilisk, of course, with the 4-3 and the 3 or the 3-4. Okay, well, I do have 3 of these guys in the deck, so there is that. Of course, the problem is that even if I attack with the Plague Nurse now, they can still double block it. And I can only trade with like the... Well, I guess if I disrupt this thing, I can trade it with the Blade Mantis thing. I was thinking about enchanting this guy, because that can actually... But no, the Atrocity can always attack as a 4-6 if I wanted to. So maybe it's better to just, you know, offer the trade with the Mantis. And I can also... So, okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. This is gonna go there, because it's a good blocker here. Then I will not mind if they... Oh, they could double block. They could double block with the 1-3. I was thinking about moving the Injector on the Basilisk here. But it's actually not so great, because then they can, if I attack with the Plague Nurse as well, they can double block. Alright, whatever. Let's do it like this. I'm gonna just attack with this guy. Maybe I was supposed to enchant the Lattice Blade Mantis after all, but it's fine. I'm willing to trade with the Mantis. They cannot, even if they double block with the 3-1 and the 1-3. They can double block, of course, with the Mantis and the 3-1, or the Mantis and the 1-3. I can only kill 1. But getting rid of the Mantis is all I basically need here, so... This is fine. I eliminated 2 of their big creatures. Now I can just put this guy in here. And then I have this thing still up. And they have a 6-7. Okay, so I actually need more of these. I need either a flyer, which can't still deal with the... Well, I need one of these planar disruptions. Oh man. Wow, this thing has 6 toughness. I mean 6 power, so it can just eat my 6 toughness, guys. Wow, that was just a miserable thing. Well, I guess this deck has kind of an issue dealing with big guys, but did they have to get one? So I don't think there's any point doing anything here. They are at 5. So of course I have a Chart of the Might, I have a couple of these planar disruptions. I have a flyer, but problem is this 1-3 can block the 2-2 flyers. Then again I can, you know, make something like a Tyrannox Atrocity to fly. They are not really in a position to attack with this thing. I can just double block. They are top decking, so I do hope they don't just get a, you know, trick there. But they can of course do their thing with the Phyrexian Atlas. Okay, they do that, so that means they did draw a trick. I mean, I'm not really in a position to take 6 here, so I have to try to kill it, of course. So let's do exactly that, and this can trade with here, and I mean, if they just drew a trick, good luck to them. That was a top decked card. They didn't even use the draw speed there, so... Because of course this attack is a mistake if they can just trade with one of my guys. If they can't save the predation thing. That was of course a bad trade for them. But, okay, now they drew that. That's kind of a sign that maybe they don't have anything. But of course they still could have drawn one. But their deck has 2 of these Drowning Ichors, that's nasty. I'm pretty dead if they actually have a trick now, and I don't draw a pacifism. But that they had no trick, so they just traded with the Plague Nurse. That's really bad for them, because now they have this atrocity to deal with. They have only 4 mana. Okay, they can't. Again, this will be of course fantastic. Now I forgot I have also 2 of these Sinew Dancers, so this could tap down the Paladin here. Anyway, they have only 3 power there, so I can just attack with the atrocity. There's no point. Well, actually there is a point to move this, because it will deal an extra poison, so... But there's no point attacking with this guy. Yep, so let's do this. And let's deal, you know, 4 poison if they don't jump block. They have to now jump block. Well, they don't have to, of course. But I mean, if they don't, they are at 9 poison, any kind of proliferating effect, which the opponent doesn't know that I don't have, would be an insta-death. Do I have proliferating? I don't think I have proliferating. I don't have any Vorax either. But if they do block with the long legs, I'm actually happy, because I do have still 2 of these flyers, these things. So that means they are gonna be a lot more lethal. So I will take, I mean, if they draw something that can block, I might have to take 2 damage and 2 poison here on the next turn. I'm of course not gonna double block this guy. The Atlas does its thing, but this is of course fantastic. And now I could move this. This wouldn't die if I move this equipment. Let's kind of give the option to double block if I really want to. Of course I would be trading. I wouldn't be trading. I would only just preventing myself from taking any damage and poison. And I would lose the Sinew Dancer. So I wouldn't block. If they wanna attack, then they will attack. Okay, they do that in the combat phase. So okay. Okay. Now I could be offensive now because I have a win here. I think it's worth it, because this is just a win if they have nothing, and even if they have something, it's not like gonna be a flash thing. So let's just go for the I guess I should have attacked first. Well, maybe it's better to know. Okay, actually I'm happy now I didn't attack. Yeah, because of course, then they would eat one of my guys. So this was exactly the correct thing to do. See if I can tap this down. Because they could have had also the Tivers, you know, the plus X spell. Anyway, I think there's no point moving around the equipment. Nope. So now they can top deck for another thing. Because I still have a lethal attack coming if I just tap down this guy. Yeah, I think I would have taken the 4 damage and 2 poison there. I think I would have taken it, yeah, because then I just don't even have to tap down anything. Yeah, sure. If they have a Tivers thing, it's +5/+5. Nah, that's not enough. So now, what's this gonna be? Not a removal spell. I even have this thing now. But yeah, let's just go for 5 poison here now. And that's exactly enough of poison. Okay, so now I saw something like all this. I have 3 removal spells and 2 tappers on this thing. I'm not too concerned. I sadly don't have any protective spells against the drowning Ichor, and they do have also the protective spells of their own, so they can respond to my auras or something. I try to avoid it. Vanish into eternity, 6 mana, exile something. There's not really... I mean, I guess there is the Mage's Mantle that I can exile for 3. But I'm not sure if I have any cards I want to, cut here. The Incisor Glider will be pretty good. Rot Priest is still fine. Makes their removal spells, give them poison. Another injector. Not really. I actually was more interested in having some power pumping effects. So, Miran Bardish. +2, +1 for my poison creatures. It's not an impossible idea. And I guess I still could cut the Rot Priest. It's good on turn 1, but they have an easy time blocking it. Huh. I think if I had the Bardish in the previous game, that would have been quite nice. Just to push for more damage. It is quite clumsy of a card though, but... Hey, let's try it. They had a 0/4, they had a 1/3 for cheap. So this is maybe not so good here. I'm gonna take the Bardish. I think I still play 15 lands. Sorry, 16 lands. Yeah. That is fine. Okay, I can't believe this is happening again. Just like in my previous video, I think in the match 2 the opponent lost game 1 and then never showed up for game 2 because this opponent also lost their timeout during the beginning phase. Okay, but they kept a hand of 7, so they didn't, lose right now. Well, this is a fine card. I don't have hand. It's not that great, but I have both the colors. I have this thing, I have the planar disruption. I have 2 of these big hitters, and in this matchup I might need these. So I'm gonna keep it. But the opponent might still be, away here, totally. No, they are gonna play. Okay, so they just took all the time in the start. Maybe they, time actually disconnected or something. But yeah, of course my deck has a lot of 2s and 3s, like an amazing amount of 2s and 3s, and I have none of them here. I'm not counting the 2 removal spells, of course. Funny. But I think this is the kind of matchup where I can play a bit slower here. I can disrupt their play on this turn, unless I draw the actual 3-drop. But most of the stuff they might play here is gonna probably get disrupted if I don't have a 3-drop. Or, 2-drop works too. They might have a drowning Ichor. Okay, well, no, this thing isn't going to. Hey, this doesn't have this doesn't have defender. It can attack for 2. But yeah, I'm not gonna disrupt the 2/2 here. Sure, I'll take some damage here. I'll just get my green here. Although I think I should take the white after all, because I'm gonna at some point eat the Basilica. So I'd rather still be with 2 white sources, especially when I have a white requiring tapper up. I have the green here that I need for the atrocity, and on the next turn 1 green is enough for the plague nurse. Okay, definitely my start here wasn't great, but I mean opponent is only down to 4 cards. Yeah, you can attack with the Soulless Jailer if you want to. There's no ninjutsu in this set, so... What are they doing here? Mage's Mantle. Well, I guess that's a reason to disrupt that guy. But maybe not on this turn, because it's not like the 2/6 is too scary here. But I would like... Can't talk suddenly. I would like to, you know, use my planar disruptions when they don't have 3 mana up. They might have more of these things. But it was just on... I mean, I just had to play the nurse there, right? Okay, so they are gonna have a pump spell. Am I going to... It could be another of these Mage's Mantles. So I'm actually gonna be willing to leave, you know, let this thing die. And I hope they play the Mage's Mantle or the Soulless Jailer, so I can then... Okay, yeah. I can, you know, disrupt it now. And now it is actually time to do that. Probably. I mean, it would be tempting to just not do that still. No, I can't take all that damage. At least what I can do is I can play my tapped land. Oh, actually there's no... It's better to not play the tapped land. Oh no, it is. I'm sorry. I want to have 5 mana on the next turn. I was thinking about playing the untapped land. And then I could sack this. But then then I wouldn't have 5 mana for the next turn unless I draw an untapped land. So yeah, let's just do this thing now. Hopefully they don't have the Tyvar's thing. They did not. And I guess I'll take 2 from this, but this is now a 3 for 1. Well, actually it's not, because they used one of the mantles to deal with the plague nurse. Alright, I have no poison. They have nothing to proliferate with. So that's fine. I have to be a little bit... Yeah, they might have a -4/-4 there. So if I just... well, I don't have 7 mana. It would be really nice if I had, because then I could play the Zealot and the Basilisk, both which can block the 2/2s there. If I play now the Atrocity, there's a little bit of a danger that they kill it with the -4/-4, and then I have to take yet another. But yeah, I mean, unless I'm willing to use the disruption this turn, I will take 4 damage if they have a removal spell. I can play only 1 creature, so let's play the most expensive one. There's no point attacking into this board. They might double block, and I can make this into a 6/6. But now I fear they have a -4/-4 there. Okay, they have something else than a -4/-4. Huh. Am I willing to go to 2 here? That's a lot. A lot of damage, I mean. Well, the options are to either jump block with the Dancer or trade with the Atrocity. Now this is a pretty sweet one, for sure. But I kinda don't wanna go down to... I don't wanna go down to... I will take a poison from there, but... Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this. Yeah, just a jump here, take a poison, take 4 damage. Now I don't die to, you know, everything, and then I can just... well, now with the 7 lands I can just do this and then play the Basilisk post-combat. And I have blockers for their guys. So I can block actually both of them profitably. So even if they have now 1 removal spell, I wouldn't be dying. And of course I still have the disruption. I have 2 lands I can cash in for more cards if I keep drawing lands. Have I played a Terramorphic Expanse? Yes, I have. So I have now 8 lands on the on the battlefield and graveyard combined. My deck has 8 lands left. So 17 spells, which is quite a lot out of 25. While I have these redraws available too. So I don't worry about top deck war here. That can be disrupted now. They can proliferate, actually they do have the mana for it. And this will, when this dies, they can proliferate too. Okay, so do I have mana for... No, I don't have mana to crack the Basilica and play both of these. It is fine. I will... No, they could have the 7-drop too. That is kind of annoying. Because what I can do is I can... You know, make the Atrocity into 6/6. And then at least force them to use 2 cards to kill it. The Brutalizer and the Spore Singer. And then if they don't block, I can still block this 4/4 with my Death Toucher. But if I just, you know, pacify this guy right now, this will be a 6/6. They can either jump or take the damage. It's really nasty actually, because I know they have a card in there that could just prevent me from attacking. I guess I still have my Basilisk. I can't block with it, but I can attack with it. Okay, fine. Let's do this thing. And hope they don't have the 6/7. Of course they do need a land for it, but they could have a land in their hand. They can block and proliferate now. Okay, they don't do that. They add 6 poison. I'll do this. And was I wrong? I think I was wrong. I thought I don't have mana to... Or was that the previous turn actually? Because I could crack this thing now. That leaves me 2 white mana. 2 mana, 1 of which is white. Yeah, okay, I should have done this before any attacks for more information. But I guess it didn't matter in the end. I should play the land, maybe. No, I don't think I need to play it. I don't need to show it to them. It only matters if I'm gonna draw. Because I could draw 2 cards on the next turn, but if 2 of them are lands, I will have only 1 spell. Okay, this can be nasty. This actually is nasty. Oh, they just win with that, unless I get my flyer. I have 3 of those flyers. Because now every creature they have there means that I can... I mean, it's only 1 per turn though. Sinew Dancer can be used for good value. Because if I attack with only 1 creature here... Yeah, this triggers once each turn. So if I could attack now so that they have to block with multiple creatures. So I can attack with the Atrocity, I can pump the Basilisk. I can attack with the Deep Faith guy. They have to block basically the Atrocity here. They can double block. Of course, if I attack with like everything, I will. But no, they won't have that many attackers themselves. This is a tough one. This is a really tough one. I have 1 timeout, so I can pump the Basilisk, but it's only 1 poison. They will also take a bunch of damage. So let's now see. I'm going to target. I'm gonna... No, I don't have to target anything. That's also true. But I can do the Deep Faith and the Atrocity. They can't really take them both. They have to block at least 1. But if they only block 1... It's a jump block. I go to 4. They go to 10, but then they go to 6. It is tough now. I do actually believe I'm not supposed to attack now. No attacks, because I have the tapper. If I didn't have it, I wouldn't be having this kind of game plan, but now I have the game plan to just tap down their stuff. They can use the draw pets now, of course, to keep drawing some plays, but... Okay, that is not corrupted yet, but it will get death touch once, yeah, they can... Well, I will be corrupted regardless, so... I mean, they're gonna just... Well, not much I can do about it. I go to 4 now regardless, and they go to 10, and I will... This will have death touch and lifelink. But I can of course tap it down. I can tap it down. Yeah, this run is really nasty now. Okay, that... Well, that might help me a little bit. Okay, so I don't think I wanna show them the injector now. I have enough mana to maybe... Oh, well, maybe I will. I might get something like the Bardis or something. But anyway, the point is now to tap down the flyer. Or might as well, you know, put this on someone. Doesn't really matter, I don't think. But I'm gonna tap down the flyer and then if they want to sack, okay, they try to land. Now they have no black mana. If they draw a black spell, they cannot actually cast that. So now they can, you know, attack with the Sporzinger, which I can kill, but then they will be, of course. I will be going now to 2, and this is other creature. So if they jump block with this thing, it's actually not gonna help them. So now I can attack. Yeah, I can attack without tapping it down. They will block the 4/4, and then they will take a bunch of damage. But now, of course, if I tap this down, I will have a lethal attack. If they don't have anything. Problem is, they might have. Yeah, because I will be dealing exactly 3 poison here. If they block the atrocity, they go to 9 poison only. Then I can tap this guy down. Hope they don't have like a haster or something. I wouldn't attack with a zealot. I can block a haster with that. Another creature. You control die. Okay, I have to go now. Yeah, let's just do this. I don't know. Kind of want to just go for the win here, but I would lose if they have like another mantle. That's the problem here. Maybe I'll play around the mantle. They jump block now the atrocity. Okay, they die. Okay. So they... Because I don't know, I was really playing around the mantle. If I tap this down now, try to tap it, they play them... Oh, but it's not... Sorry. If the creature has toxic, it gains hexproof. Yeah, that would not have worked. I guess they could have had a Tyvar's thing, but I mean... Maybe I was supposed to tap this down and go for the lethal attack. Well, I mean, I won. That's it. Not an easy game. Alright, one lander. No. I don't even have a 2-drop, although I do have 1-drop. Hey, what's this? So if I draw 1 land, I can play my 2-drop. I can have my injector. 1 lander into 1 lander. I have the Rot Priest to deal some poison to them. Okay, I'll keep it. I'll be on the play, so I really need to get lucky here to draw the land. Maybe I will cut the white card. Yeah, that's nasty. I mean, that was basically on a mulligan to Oblivion or to 5. You can win with from 5. Well, that was actually really good. But I thought that it's better that I will try to find the land right away and then I have a very functional hand. As opposed to... As opposed to... This is a tough one. Kinda don't want to trade with the Stalker here. You know, as opposed to go to 5 cards, that because 5 cards can also be pretty miserable. Anyway, wow. Because I could disrupt this guy and make them go to 4 poison already. But I can just let this trade happen, have the Basilisk, and yeah, I think I'm gonna play the Basilisk this turn. And then I can use the Disruption and the Injector still. They start getting 3/3s there, which is very sad. Well, that's annoying too. This will become a... That thing will become, of course, a... 3/3 in the end. These 3/3s won't be able to block the Basilisk profitably. I'm actually gonna cut them from the mana because I can do this and I can make the Basilisk give them 2 poison now. And of course, this is a 1/5, so they need a 5 power creature or a removal spell to deal with this thing. Okay, Rustvine Cultivator. Predation. Why would... Oh yeah, of course they would do that. Haha, Disruption again. Well, they took a poison from that thing, so let's see if they're gonna jump block here. They take 2 poison now, that's quite a lot. So now, of course, they did miss their land drop too, so... They need to jump block this Basilisk now. This is a activate only as a sorcery. Alright. So of course I could try getting rid of the Cultivator with the Disruption, but they might have a way to deal. But even a Pump Shell, I guess if they do have a Titanic Growth specifically, yeah, you know what, let's go for the win. They would have to have the Tyvar's thing. The Tyvar's, you know, which gives actual hexproof even the creatures that don't have Toxic. To not lose to this attack. There's nothing at instant speed for triple green that they would be able to do. And I was still able to play the Stalker on the next turn, so that was the main idea. Even if they do have the Tyvar's thing, I can at least have 2 lethal attackers on their next turn. Okay, so I saw only green there. I, by the way, mulligan to 6, kept 1 lander and still won, but I did draw the 2 lands right away. That was, of course, very lucky, but you have to be lucky sometimes, because, I mean, it's also unlucky to go 1 lander into 1 lander, so there's that. Now, the Injector was nice there, but I'm not sure if it's really something I want to play as a double. Sack. That they can, you know, fill the board with 3/3s, but I do have 3 of these flyers. I haven't gotten too much benefit from them. But again, the Rot Priest seems a bit bad when they have 1/2 for 1 and a 0/3 for 2. I believe the Rot Priest goes away. And am I again supposed to play the Bardish or something like the Vanish into Eternity? Or just actually play another of these Injectors? Hard to say. I think I might want to have this thing to give my creatures a little bit extra power if the game goes late. Let's do that. Okay, keepable 7 it is. They mulliganed this time. Now the question is, which one is it gonna be? Well, it does depend on what they play early. Well, that can just trade with the... Oh, well, that is... Finally, I got my 2-drop into Raptor here. So, of course, I will play now the Stalker, because that will be able to fly here. They chose not to attack, so they wanna have this mana... I guess they wanna have a 4-drop on the next turn, which will make things hard. Because they just played a 2 mana 3/2 on the play, after playing a 1 mana 1/2. But I will at least be able to deal some poison here, hopefully. I mean, they could have a removal, of course. I really hope they just play a 4-drop. And of course it's the Haster, so... it's such a miserable place to be, but I have to do this. I mean... don't think this matters too much now. I'm taking 6 here, and then I'm gonna play the Raptor, and I'm gonna, you know, take even more. Plus they have a 1/1 now, which makes my 3/1 into quite bad one. So let's just do this and hope I can actually, you know, stabilize here, which I suppose I can do with the Basilisks here. I can just trade with the Kangaroo Bloom. I have another Basilisk if they continue having big creatures. Of course, their very nice curve out also means when they were, you know, they mulligan to 6 on the play, that they have only 3 cards left. They could be like a land there too. They might be only at 2 spells, but we'll see. Okay, they might not be at 2. Yeah, they don't have a land, do they? So they still have 2 spells, but the 2/2 is rather irrelevant now. Okay, so I will just play my defenses here. No problem with that. Another Basilisk. The Bardis might actually be quite nice here now. The Basilisk is great against the pump spells too, because of the Death Touch. They are not willing to attack into them. Alright, so question is, am I going to start attacks? I do want to play my flyer here. Because I could just play this guy, but they can just kill the Bardis. I actually would rather make the Kangaroo Bloom go away. The Bardis can be quite nice as an equipment to move around, even though it costs so much, but I think I have the mana for it. So let's just play this thing for now. Yeah, they have priorities with the Cultivator. I have no idea if they are going to have, you know, actual instant speed spells there. Plus they have priority from the proliferation as well. Anyway, they have their first poison now. And I have this Zapper. Now let's see if the Raptor survives. That's of course the big thing. If I can keep dealing in the air. Once they get corrupted, this is a very cheap Zapper, but no, they have a Ruthless Predation there. Not much to do about it. Yeah, I can take 3 from that guy, because this first striker will be cool here. They can't really block it that well. I'm actually going to attack with 2 of these. Because I don't mind trading with the Kangaroo Bloom. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. They have a trick. But now that means that they are now out of cards. And I'm almost out of creatures, but not a big deal. I have the Bardis here. I can also win with regular damage. It doesn't have to be poison, although most of my creatures do have toxic. Oh, how about that? I'm not going to attack with it. Because I wanna equip it first. They have here 5 power and 5 toughness and 4 power, so I can't kill all of them. I could kill the Cultivator and the Slinger, but I think this is more valuable than that. I will just... this thing has Vigilance, you know, so I can do this. Oh, this is perfect. Let's see if they have another pump spell there. Nope. This is perfect now. So am I still going to... I'm actually going to consider attaching this on the Basilisk now. They don't have to know about the hasty creature, no. I'm gonna do this. And this. This can be a surprise to them. Because of course now that they did that block, I don't need to to equip this guy anymore. Especially when they have just the 1-2. Okay. Let's see if they have more tricks there. No tricks. Okay. So let's just play this. I could have of course used this to tap down, but I think this is pretty much game over now. I was able to stabilize, and then of course when you play these 1-drops you can also draw them later in the game, and they're of course quite bad then. So even though this is a low curve format, I like to have some heavier hitters in the decks. Because any game that goes, you know, past the mid game point, you will, if you just have these 2-drops, they are quite, you know, not so great later on. So I like to have, you know, the Plague Nurse and the Atrocity, and that I liked also to sideboard into the bodies for that reason. Am I supposed to play this in main deck? I don't think so. The Rot Priest can be quite nice still against unknown opponents. It trades with 3/1s, blocks mites, makes the removal to make them get poison and all that. So this is still going to be my main deck, but the Bardis can be a nice sideboard card. Okay, it's time to have a 0-lander. Well, let's mulligan that. At least now I have a quite nice hand. I have to just decide which I'm not gonna keep. Of course, well, this is tough because I want to have both 2-drops. And the charge of the mites can be quite good. Plague Nurse is the heavier hitter, and with the Mir Convert I might be able to cast it just after having drawn 1 land. I think it's actually the Stalker that goes away. I can play the Convert on turn 2, and then depending on if I draw a land or not, my turn 3 play could be the Raptor or the Nurse. Okay. At least now if they remove this, I can play the 2/2 flyer toxic guy. Which I think I would play over the 2/1/1s. Okay, that's a Convert of their own. Alright, let's just play the Plague Nurse now that I still have my guy. And then I can attack for, well, maybe even 3 toxic, because I can make this guy fly. They might also have the burn spell now. Oh, that is a lot of colors. That's gonna be interesting. Okay, so at least, unless they have for 1 mana something nasty, I have a nice turn now. I will try to do this, because they don't have a good block on the Nurse, and this can fly, so they're gonna take 3 poison, or they are going to jump block. Okay, so at least they are corrupted now, which doesn't matter for my current board state, but I have a couple of tappers that care about them being corrupted. And I have the 3 mana sorcery too, which I haven't drawn by the way yet. That has flashback when the opponent is corrupted. Plus of course I have the Flaming Raptor now, which I can make, you know, to deal 2 poison. They can kill now my Mir Convert, which is a shame, but it's still mostly fine. Alright, so they have actually 5 power here only, so I can attack with this being a 3/6, and they again have to jump block or take a lot of poison. That doesn't give me the option to. I think it's still worth it though. I wanna make them jump block. They have 1 mana available. I have to, but of course they have this Cry available too, but let's now see. And with the Plague Nurse, of course, the Flaming Raptor can deal even more poison damage. If I use the 3 mana activation on the Plague Nurse. Okay, they're gonna go for a jump and scry. Understandable. That's also, by the way, 5 damage, so they might even die to just regular damage as well. I might take some damage myself on the next turn. Now the question is, am I supposed to move the equipment to the Flensing Raptor now? I think not, because I have the charge. Yeah, they still have to block this. I didn't, by the way, look how did they scry. I was focused on my side of the board. They have 3 cards still. They have 6 mana, actually 7 with the convert. So if they have like a bomb rare, now it's time for that. Let's hope they don't have anything too great. Okay, that is a good one. But they still have no answer on the flyer. But now they have good blocks on the Plague Nurse. So I now... Well, it's fine still. I don't have to use the Plague Nurse ability, and even if I had equipped on this thing on the previous turn, it still would not be allowing me to both activate this and use the player spell here. And I think a spell is going to be... Well, on the other hand, this is a 2-turn clock if I use this. But then that means that everything has to go well. I'm actually not gonna do that. And I'd rather just play the Basilisk here and maybe even, you know, make it into a 1/5 so it can block the Paladin without dying. Okay, now they will have Flyer, but actually not good enough until they move this to something else, which they can actually do now. Yeah, they do have the mana for that. They took 2 life loss there. And there's one of my multiple ways to deal with stuff. Of course, I can also just kill it with the Charge of the Might. They are completely tapped out in terms of mana. So I will just play the Sinew Dancer and kill this thing with 4 damage, because that's also a mode for that. And now they could double block this. Yeah, there's no point. It's time to just deal 2 poison in the air. I could equip this, but then they just jump block. No, it's more important to just do this. Make them go to 8 poison. And now they scry to bottom, that's always a good sign. No upkeep, stop for more scries before drawing. They of course have the equipment here, but I have a Sinew Dancer, which can just tap down whichever flyer they might have. So, but that is a flyer, you know, by itself, of course. So now the equipping is 3 mana, isn't it? Yes. So it is not quite over yet, unless I draw a Pacifism. Because now I cannot. So if I tap down the 4/2, they have here, this can be, yeah, it can be dangerous thing. So I guess this is just a turn where I... Yeah, I will tap down on their turn. I don't think it makes any difference to move around the equipment here. Let's just play this thing, use my Dancer on their turn. Basically not tapping both of their flyers, that's all I need to do. But they have more scries here, let's see if they can keep on top, because they of course can just get a removal spell and then be in a good shape. They are black, blue, white, they have some red too. Okay, that's gonna proliferate, that's not... And that's gonna draw them a card, but... I mean, that's... If they're gonna pay 3 for this thing, they have only 1 mana left here. And they have, of course, they proliferated twice. Wow, did they... Wait a minute, did they actually draw a land and a 2-drop flyer there? I mean, I guess they just had to get lucky there, but this is now tapped. So let's be now very... Let's first of all let them attack, which they don't do. So I can... Because I have 3 toxic creatures that are all lethal. They have to block them all. Because this Basilisk can deal 2 poison with the Plague Nurse ability. So I can tap down now something and on the next turn something. I guess it has to be this regardless. That I'm gonna tap right now. Yeah, they do have enough blockers. That is sad. Okay. So I could draw a card. If I do draw the pacifism, I will just win. That's right. That is right. I guess I'll do that then. It's an insta win if I draw one of the passive, and I have 3 of them. Okay, there it is. Because I have exactly enough mana for that now. Yeah, this is proliferated twice. I somehow thought it's only gonna draw 1 card, but of course when you play it for 7, you of course, they by the way died 2 damage too. It says proliferate twice, and of course then you will get to draw 2 cards. Okay, so they have all the colors, because this is green and this land produces red. They wouldn't play this for fun. They have something for red too, so they are 5 colors. But they do have a prophetic prism, Phyrexia Atlas, and this thing adds any color. That can really function, but what are the main colors? It's blue and black, right? Because they have black here, blue early drops. Definitely blue. I think the edifice is kind of like sort of splashable if you have all this fixing and this thing. I don't actually know how lucky do they have to go be with their lands, because this is a lot of different, lands that only produce 1 color of mana. But it's not gonna affect my sideboarding. Except for that they have the BO3 for 1, they have the 3 mana 1/4. So again, it does seem like my venerated Rot Priest might not be the greatest thing ever. Maybe it's time to again play the Miran Bardish. How about the Vanish into Memory? Well, I don't see a lot of. I guess the Hover Wings is something I might wanna exile, but still this thing gives them a creature. It's not a great deal. I think against this deck I would really need to have some pump effects. Well, I'm gonna play the Bardish. That is sort of a pump effect. Alright. Same sideboarding mostly in each of the matches I mean. Which raised the question, should I have done that in the first place as a main deck? Okay, this is fine. 2-drop, 3-drop, all the colors thanks to the expanse. Opponent did mulligan, but with their mana, I don't think it's that much of a surprise. I guess they mostly need a blue source in their starting hand because they had a lot of blue early drops. And there is one. Okay, I don't have the flyer right now, so... Well, of course, again, I'll see what their 2-drop is. Just a Skull Bomb. So, I guess this gives 2 counters, so it's worth trying to get through with this guy. They have the option to bounce it if they want to. They could have the Edifice, which is just gonna eat this for free. Please don't have it. Okay, well, at least they... I think they would have done that if they had it. Oh, this actually hasn't made an appearance either, at least I don't remember. Anyhow, let's play the 3-drop, of course. Next turn I can play 2 2-mana cards. Yeah, the Glider is quite nice too. Well, they do have the... They did mulligan, but now they do have 3 different mana producers, but they, of course, now have to play a bit passively with these kind of, fixers that make their curving out slower, so I will be able to deal 1 poison damage now. Oh, the disruption will be very good. Let's just deal the poison here now and go with this guy, and if they have 1 big blocker now, they're gonna be in trouble, because then I'll just play the disruption here. If they have 2 small blockers or removal and something, well, I still have 3 creatures here. It's very hard to see me not dealing any poison damage to them. Hey, this is only lacking white mana, which they can get from the prism, but they do actually have, you know, this basic lands from all these colors. Well, that's one of the bumps they're gonna. Okay, so let's. So remove an oil counter. Yeah, this can destroy target artifact or enchantment, but I don't have any of those now. And this says permanent can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. So unless they have exactly a counter spell, but I think the only counter spell is the one that attacks me for 2 mana. So once this enters the battlefield, this already cannot use the abilities. So I'm pretty darn sure that this can be just done. There's no window for them to actually try to kill it. Not that they have even 3 mana. Their artifact enchantment removal requires 3 mana. Okay, now with the glider, this is gonna be. Well, they could have a counter spell for this thing that I cannot pay for. Okay, they did not. So now with the charge of the might, I can deal 4 damage to a creature. Vorak. Okay. Okay, they're at least tapped out now. Of course, this is. Well, no, the glider is just gonna be so good. So what I can do, well, I have 2 options. I can kill either of these things. If I kill the raptor, they will trade with the stalker here. If I kill the Vorak, they can't actually trade with anything, but they can block the duelist of the Deep Faith without it. This can be a 2-3 also. It can be a 3-2. Okay, this thing can actually just eat the glider. No, it pumped itself. It actually cannot. It will be a 2-4, 2-4, 3-3 first striker. But if they can still block the stalker. This will be a 3-3 first striker, and this will be a 2-4 death toucher, so I will be able to deal more poison damage. I guess what I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna draw a card, because that's what I'm gonna still do. This could give me some information. Well, that'll be very good on the next turn. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to, if I kill this, they can't actually, they will take more poison because, no, that's actually wrong. These can always trade with the stalker, in which case I'm gonna do this. Yeah, because they can make this into a 2-3 and trade with the 4-2. So now they don't have the only good block they have is now on the stalker. And they still take 2 poison, and they also take 7 damage here. And on the next turn I have the Porcelain Zealot. Yeah, I'm gonna win with damage, actually more likely than with the. Okay, well, there is the thing that of course makes now it makes sense why they do have all these colors. So of course this has lifelink, so scratch that. I won't be winning with damage because they will be gaining so much life. Now if I just drew one of these disruptions, that would have been a game won for me, but now of course I can attack with the Basilisk and that's it. Vigilance, Deathless, whatever. So of course when they have these, yeah, I'm gonna lose now. Well, maybe. Yeah, I don't have any proliferating. That's kind of nasty. They can also, by the way, block with the Atraxa here. Although I don't think they can really because they are at 3 life. They need to attack for 7 life with this Vigilant guy. But of course they have now blocker, kill spell, and then the Attendant can return the Crusher here. Can return the Crusher. So I mean I'm all. I don't know how to win exactly here. Yeah, I guess I can make... No, because they have the flying blocker. Yeah. Atraxa, of course. Quite the card. But they did have enough, you know. I didn't have enough. I almost won with damage, but they went down to 3 there. And then they got the 7 life. And of course, if they didn't have the 7 power life linker, I would have, obviously. I would have obviously, you know, been able to attack into it. Yeah, that's a little bit of... Yeah, not enough now. So, yeah, game is over now. I can't do anything. They have all this now. So, Atraxa... Well, you can lose to that. How about the vanish into memory? Sorry, eternity. The kind of damage is already done. They drew what 4 or 5 cards for each card type from top 10. Yeah, they really had a lot of card types there too. The 3/4 is annoying. Vanish. Don't really like the 6 mana exile. I just don't. Yeah, I'm gonna just hope that on the play I will be able to you know, beat them. That was, of course, the Atraxa was probably the only card that was able to, you know, bring them back. But okay, now this is at least fantastic. On the play, a Raptor into this. Let's see. I have double white, but I don't have double green in here. Oh no, I have a double green, but I don't have double white. But I have 2 tappers that require white always. These things, and then I have the hasty 4/4 that is double green. So I kind of want to get planes, but I believe I'm gonna take a forest. Just that if I happen to draw my haster, I will have the, well, and 2 more lands. I will have the no, correct colors for it. So now please don't play something that kills this guy. I would rather deal some poison here already. Okay, they just draw a card with that thing. That's a good sign. Maybe they don't have all the colors, but they do. That's actually very interesting. I kind of want to play the Stalker number 2 here rather than... Because it will deal more poison than the Raptor, and I can, you know, still play the Raptor here and make one of these guys fly. Oh, they had the Edifice. That is annoying. Really don't like seeing that, but oh well. At least they will be corrupted now, nothing is gonna change that, and they also have to deal with this, but they had some flying blockers, they have the 1/4, although I have a Porcelain Zealot for that thing. Makes this attack for 4. Although the oil counter 1/4 can actually become into a 4/1 and trade with the Raptor that is a 4/4. Okay, let's see if they're gonna point proliferation. I think I'll take the Plague Nurse here. I will trade with the Edifice. I don't think it's gonna be that valuable. Keeping the Stalker around. Yeah. Then I'll play the Nurse. They will be drawing some cards when they proliferate, but oh well. So now if I do draw one of my Raptors, I can still make this Plague Nurse to fly. Now I don't wanna see the... Okay, that's... Well, okay, that was a reason to not play the Dancer before they are... Before they have played this thing. Now... 5/6... I could attack for... I mean, again, I'm threatening to deal a lot of damage, but I think this makes now the most sense. Just pacify this guy, they have to jump block with the thing. Or take a lot of damage and poison. I don't think they can afford to take 5 damage and 3 poison here. This is a tapped land, so I couldn't use this ability now. Okay, that's fine. Now they are close to the 7 drop again. Okay, that has a reach and trample. Well, I mean, I can attack with the Plague Nurse into it. Then I can have my Tapper. Not that I care about the trample, but I do care about the reach there. But can they really go to 8 poison and 2 life here? They don't know about the Tapper here. So that's a way to at least prevent them from getting the life link. But of course, why did I forget that thing? I just totally forgot that thing. I was such a fool there. I don't know why did I do that. Oh man, I was such a fool. That was just a mistake. There's nothing else to say about that. Alright, so the problem now is that if they have the attacks, I will again lose. They have a blocker on this thing unknowingly, even drawing a card there. Because I'm again winning the game if they don't have the Atraxa. They could have, well, I'm not winning the game if they have a removal on the Raptor, but I guess they also need the removal on the Zealot. Okay, well that's not the thing. I think they had the mana for it. What doesn't it require? But this is any color. Oh. Should I deal 4 in the air or should I kill both of these guys? That's an interesting question. Because they must double block if I make this into a 3-5. And then of course it is a Death Toucher with more than 1 power to kill both of the blockers. But I can make them go to 1 life too. Really interesting. I guess this is lethal on the next turn anyway. So let's do it like this. I guess I could attack with this guy, but no, that would make no sense, because then they can just block with the Borak while jump blocking the Basilisk. Okay, they're at 7 poison now. And I of course still have this guy. So now they have no blockers on my ground guy. Let's just get the planes here. So the Raptor is gonna be lethal now, unless they have the Atraxa. That's a tough one. If they have it, I might lose another game to that thing. Okay, that doesn't block flyers. It gets Vigilance and Menace. +2/+2. Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna attack into it with the 3-1 because they can, of course, make it into a big enough. So I mean, this could be a 5-3, but they can make this into a 6-6. They had the mana for it. But yeah, my flyer now finally was enough, and they didn't draw their mythic rare. Wow, that was exciting. I mean, this deck is... they must have gotten the mythic rare early in the draft, the 4-color one. And then that's actually totally a reason to go for this, because it's also fun. But their deck was also good. I think, despite all the colors, they had a... they had a couple of... Even this thing is... Well, most creatures in this set are Phyrexian, so this is kind of a all colors. And they had a couple of dual lands. They had the Seachrome Coast, and there was the black-red one at least. And there was the Mana Rock, and there was the Prismatic. No, well, anyway, a couple of artifact mana fixers too. And they, of course, were able to now play all the strong cards, because, of course, this doesn't really... I don't see any bad cards in here. This also works with their game plan quite well. But yeah, that was still good enough for me to win, because they didn't draw the stuff they needed. Even though I played the 1/1 into the -1/-1 effect, I don't really know why did I do that. But I guess in the end they had to pay 2 life for it, so that allowed me to win on that turn. Maybe I did it on purpose. I did not. Okay, that was, by the way, another 3-0 here, and I don't really want to draft these toxic decks all the time, but I think how the draft went, I could have started with the red removal spells, but I wanted to start with the Rot Priest, and then I took them. What was my second pick over the red removal spell? I don't actually remember. Was it the Raptor? Might have been the Raptor. Or was it the planar disruption? Could have been that too, actually. Anyway, this is of course a very decent deck because the Raptors are so nice when the opponent gets the ground blockers. But yeah, I should have picked some pump spells, especially because of the Rot Priest, but just even without that, more ways to push through. And I saw a few in the draft, but then I just kept picking my creatures over the pump spells. Of course, because you have to have the critical mass of 2-drop creatures here. So I think it wasn't a bad idea to pick those creatures. But usually those, some of those pump spells come quite late. So maybe it was a bit weird draft in the sense that I didn't get those late pump spells. But anyway, I don't think there's much else to say. I guess I could have played with 2 of these injectors, but all the cards in this deck, they just quite important here, I would say. So it was very hard to cut anything, and I'm already playing 16 lands, so it's not really a good idea to go to 15. But yeah, let's see if I can draft some other things than toxic decks. I would also like to play blue-red, red-green decks. Even the blue-black, which maybe isn't the strongest color combination, but I'm willing to at least try it if I get some strong cards. But we will see that in a couple of days when the next video will be publishing. Thank you for watching the video, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.